5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And it's live.
This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
Hello, there we are. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good night, good day, goodbye. How you doing? Wherever you are in the world, one of those will apply to you. This is LTID TV from Leicester Till I Die. Welcome along. It's Thursday night. It's 7 o'clock and we're crackers. Something like that, wasn't it? Anyway, welcome along. Sorry for the delay, mentioning no names, bottom right. But yeah, exactly. Just follow Brad's hand. Actually, thinking about it, I'd rather not. But thank you very much for coming. Brad and Craig are with me. We're going to do the predictions, and we are asking you to join in. Please do join in as we go through the chat. But please put the game that you were referring to in the chat. First of all, good evening, Brad. How the devil are you?
I'm good, mate. But where's Craig?
Did I say Craig?
You did. You said wait at the start, then you said Brad and Craig.
Well, to be honest with you, I was waiting for him for that long. I didn't know. I was almost messaging Craig to come in as a substitute. I was about to hold Craig's number up and say, "Come in, Craig."
You've probably got someone in on time then. No, I'm all right though, mate. The rare day off from work, so I've been out enjoying the sun, but I'm still as white as can be. I'm still even though I spent a few hours out there, I'm still milk bottle white. But there we go.
Tell you what, the sun affects Wayne better than it affects my flowers. I mean, look at this. Look at the colour of that head. I mean, did that sound right? You know what I mean? Well, it's impressive. An impressive head, young Wayne.
Well, that's what you get for working outside, fitting replacement, double glazing in the blazing sunshine, Chris. It was glorious.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it and getting plenty of fresh air. It is the prediction show, and we will start with them in a minute. But I just want to introduce a new award. This is a very special award that we're going to give out every now and again. It's not going to be regular. It's just going to be now and then when I feel that people have earned it. Like tardiness and lateness and things like that. And this is going to be the award that is called the Knob Fan of the Week.
I didn't know you were giving yourself an award.
Well, I've got a full shelf of them, I'll tell you. And luckily, hours I spent putting that knob fan together. I put out a post earlier. I don't know if anybody actually saw it at all on Facebook, Blue Sky, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. And it was this picture here, which was basically saying, "Are interested parties willing to buy Leicester City?" ? Now, let me explain to people. When you put a question mark at the end of a statement, it's not a statement. It turns it into a question. So, the question was, but if you look above it, now...
Sorry, do you mind just repeating that, Chris?
No.
Still not
Don't you be starting, mate. I am in the mood to go off on one. But if you look at the top, it says there have been rumours that other interested parties are willing to buy Leicester. but King Power and Coon Top have not publicly demonstrated interest in selling. Brackets, athletic, end brackets, which you would presume would show you where that piece of information has come from. And if you're not sure, if your IQ isn't quite as big as your shoe size, there is a link underneath www.nytimes.com #Leicester and all that. So, to my mind, if you read that and think that I am just making rumours up, you have got to be as thick as the proverbial pig shit that you find on Clarkson's farm. However, I'm going to call two people out here because Martin LFC Pagey, however you want to pronounce it. So it's Martin LCFC Pagey. Rumours, what are these in whose head? More BS. All this innuendo is destroying the club and just so you can get your clicks. Why don't you F off and support, read destroy, some other team? So I put, if you don't like what's posted, you are more than welcome to leave the group. Not forcing him. To which he replied, Christopher, trying to censor me now. I would have censored him, I think, if I'd chucked him out. I thought that's what we were here for, opinions and frank exchangings. Of course, some want to say something, but they are blah, blah, blah. He goes on, it says it there. Well, I just gently replied to him, censor PSML. Oh my God, another woke wanker. If you have the IQ the size of your shoe and actually read, you can read, can't you? There's a link in the description and it also says brackets, athletics brackets in the text. Night classes and glasses needed. And then, directly under that, we had a Mr. Mick Merry. Repeat that name, Mick Merry. Pack it in. If you can only write rumours, don't bother. Now, there's polls that go on in the Facebook group, and the first one says, things that I post personally, even if it's not got a link on, is not necessarily my opinions. I had a huge argument, well, not a huge argument, a bit of heavy banter last night with a Neil on blue tinted glasses. Not that I was arguing with him, I totally agreed with what he said, but I was just playing devil's advocate. I'm sorry, am I missing something there? Or are people just pig thick shit? Do other clubs have fans that are as thick as this?
Short answer, yeah. Every set of fan base has them, mate. From glory hunters to, like Gorindas that we have, to absolute brain dead idiots. I mean, you might as well. I still reckon you'd have got them comments had you titled it in big, bold, fuck off capital letters. This is a question, not a rumour. And they're still gone, and that's the exact noise they actually make when they type. Their keyboard actually makes that noise for them just to try and initiate the fact that they're being stupid with what they're putting. You still get them, mate. Every fan base, from Premier League down to grassroots football, you always get a muppet.
Yeah, well, we got 2 in 1 week there, so I was sharing the fan between them. They can have a knob each. I love the way people react to the headline, which, yes, of course, is there to make clickbait. That's why we do it.
No, yeah.
You have got the Dennis the Menace top on, though, Chris, haven't you? So are you behaving a bit of a menace?
Thank you for that, because you could have gone down the Where's Wally line. So I'm glad you didn't. Thank you for that. But there you go. This week's 2 knobs of the week for you there, and I'm sure they will get their knobs in due course. As Highfield says there, the stick you got was pathetic. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Plus, as well, Chris, it's like the transfer rumours. So like the new season starts, transfer window opens. Now, with us fans, we could choose to wait till Leicester City announce the signing, but we're all on the internet looking, what's that rumour? And you take that with a pinch of salt. You don't take it as gospel. But I still go on the internet and see, is there any latest news? And that's what it is, isn't it? It's just gossip, banter, chat.
Yeah. And the thing is, as well, it's not as if it's from Ugandan soccer.ugd .com, whatever. It's from The Athletic, which is one of the more respected. And what I love is when people turn around and go, it's in the Sun, it's rubbish. I won't believe it till I see it on Sky. Same owners? I don't know. People need to maybe just pause before they type. But let's get back to the prediction, shall we? It's what we're here for. Now, here are last week's results. Now, I have to say, Brad, you had a good week. God,
I did.
I struggled getting that out then, Brad. I'm sorry.
I know. It must always be difficult for you. I mean, to be fair, we all had a very decent week, but I sit pretty on the perch of this week, don't I? And there's still tonight's game to go, which could extend my week or put it on level par, So, but yeah, I had a pretty good week. I've always liked Brighton. They've never let me down. I definitely got 100% the last man standing because of them.
You must have been pissed off when Liverpool got the fifth.
Oh.
But somebody who wasn't pissed off when they got the fifth, and that was Wayne.
Wayne's World, here he comes.
5-1. Where did you pull that one from?
That's the cruelty of the prediction league, isn't it?
Well, the thing was that when I posted it in the group, apparently I had literally got the two. I'd written yours down under Doug's and Doug's down under you. And Doug went, no, I only said 4-0. I bet he wishes he kept his mouth shut now. Yeah. I have to say, though, that if, let's say, for example, if Brad had got 10 points and Wayne, you'd got 2 and I'd got 1 or something like that would have been a brilliant week. But he didn't. He got 10 points. You got 7, the same as me. So,
Well, like I said, it was a good week all round. I've just got me nose in front at this moment in time. And like I said, it could all change. I've got to write it down somewhere. I don't know if you can overtake me on getting a correct score. I think we all went for the same teams to get the result, but yeah, it's still a good week.
Oh, no, well, I
have the highest score any week. So what's the highest ever sort of?
Oh, that anybody's got correct?
Shane O'Donnell got 14 or 15, I remember. It's hard to do because sometimes these predictions roll into like a midweek that I have to calculate as well. I think the longest I've had to calculate up has been 30, but in terms of just one straight week, I would say somewhere around the 15-point marks, the most yet, which is still half of the available points that are there to you.
I mean, I'm a bit pissed off at Brighton because I went 1-1, and when I looked at about 70 minutes, it was 1-1, so I went to bed happy. But it was 3-2 when I checked the next day. I mean, there's some... I mean, you were doing very... In fact, there's only one game, Brad, only one game that you didn't score any points on at all.
Was that
Leicester what game that was?
By any chance?
Sorry?
Leicester Wolves by any chance?
Yes, because you went for a Leicester win.
How stupid was I?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I don't know why that. Look, those are last week's results, and this is this week's table. Just see what I did there. Table. We haven't got a table this week, and I was clever enough to not badger Brad for one. When I realised, of course, Forest, are hosting Brentford tonight. So that is the last one of this week. So that is why there is no table. Somebody did ask for the table I think it was Shane, in the chat, and I did put sort of last week's up. Can't put the current one up because, like I say, but isn't that a lovely table, Wayne?
Well, it is, but it's a game of two halves, isn't it, Chris? So,
well, if you were to karate that in half, you would have two tables, wouldn't you? Who's drunk more, me or him? Yes, it is a Freddy Krueger top. I've also got a proper Nightmare on Elm Street T-shirt as well. Maybe I should go and get that. Right, are we ready to make fools of ourselves again?
Always.
Well, yeah, we don't need to do it. Just do that by turning up, don't we? Right, a little bit different this week. Wayne is doing the home team. Brad is doing the away team. And those are the games. There is a Friday game, which for some reason, excuse me, that has not pulled up. Right, talk amongst yourselves for a moment, guys.
Oh God, how do we do that?
Do you mind if I just say something, Brad?
Go for
I've
it.
got a lot of respect for you because basically you've got 10 points and you're just nice and level, chatting with other people like it's in every. Chris, when he gets 7 or 8, he's crowbarring it into every.
Yeah. I mean, I just like to, do the Haaland and stay humble. Chris could get 5 points and we could get 3, and he's there just way. But some of us have a bit more decorum about ourselves. It's got nothing to do with the fact that the league positions haven't changed much either. But yeah, it's just is what it is. I'm making a late search for the title. I'm on for 30 points this week. It's all right. It's all happening.
I just think that's very uncalled for, Wayne, especially when you turn up, like Cinderella at the ball 10 minutes late and we're hanging on for you. You then go and insult us.
I know, I do apologise because it's called friendly banter, isn't it? Changing room banter, yeah.
I'm saying nothing. But if you think you're getting any points this week, you can fuck off. Right, I'm just going to reload this because you may have noticed a deliberate error that was all last week's games.
Yeah, they'd be easy to predict though, Chris. I'd definitely get 30 points from it.
You still wouldn't get that.
I'd still accidentally say something wrong, wouldn't I? Yeah.
All right, here we go then. So on Friday night, 8 o'clock, tomorrow night, Manchester City versus Wolverhampton Wanderers. The early kickoff on the Saturday is Villa against Fulham. There's 2 3 o'clocks. Isn't it a good job that we don't show live matches at 3 o'clock on a Saturday? Because no fans would turn up, would they? 2 matches. Everton, Ipswich, Leicester, Southampton. Wow. Leicester, Southampton, eh? I'm surprised that's not been picked for the telly. The evening kickoff on the Saturday is Arsenal versus Bournemouth. And then we go to Sunday when we've got Brentford hosting Man United, all at 2 o'clock this. Brighton hosting Newcastle, West Ham hosting Spurs. And I saw earlier a Spurs fan was saying that he hopes that Spurs don't win the Europa League so that they can sack Ange.
Right,
and at 4:30 on Sky, Chelsea are hosting Liverpool, who, of course, have just been crowned champions. And on Monday night, we've got Palace versus Nottingham Forest. I nearly said Huddersfield then for some choice. Right, here we go. So, ladies and gentlefolk, this is where the teams stand at the moment. So I'll read through these and then we'll go to the guys. Man City in 4th, Wolves in 13th. Earlier in the season, Man City managed to beat Wolves 2-1, but I think that Craig will tell us it was a completely different Wolves to the Wolves that we're seeing at the moment. Man City's last results, they beat Villa, Everton, Palace very easily, but could only draw with Man United, who of course only turn up to the big games. And they managed to beat some East Midlands team, don't know who that was, 2-0. Wolves and then obviously also beat the same East Midlands team. They beat Man United 1-0. They beat Tottenham. They beat Ipswich. And they beat West Ham. They are on an amazing run at the moment. I was something that's new this week, and I thought this could be interesting. That you can see there, Man City has scored 66 goals, 23 goal difference, 47 assists, and 43 goals against. And there you can see the top scorers and the most assists for the 2 teams. Wayne, is this going to be an interesting game because Wolves are on a fantastic run at the moment, or are the Man City going to come back? I think Haaland's out, isn't he?
Yeah, Haaland's out, but Marmou, she's doing very well. I think he was captain at the game at the weekend. And Man City, I mean, they've won, drawn. I mean, they're they're kind of getting their form together at the right time of the season, which they always tend to do. Yeah, it's a bit late for a sort of a challenge for top 2, but they are playing really well. De Bruyne is back, although he's off at the end of the season. Apparently, his quality. Kovacic is playing really well, stepped into the hole that Rodri left. And Marmoush, I do think he'll get a few goals in this season. I do fancy Man City to... Wolves is a very tough proposition, but I think that's going to be a 2-2 draw.
Wow.
I always try and go for Desmond on the first game.
You do, Brad. Where are you? 2 weeks running, the first game, because last week for Chelsea-Everton, Wayne went 2-2.
It's not worked out for you, Wayne. I won't stick with that strategy.
Brad, Wolves on a fantastic run. I think it's probably too late for Europe. We can see there. Are they over-reliant on Cunha?
I mean, you'll find out next season. But the thing is, Chris, that they've done what we failed to do when we were being accused, and still are accused rightly, of being too over-reliant on Vardy. You know, we had 1 or 2 seasons where we had Drinkwater, we had Kante, we had Albrighton, we had players that supported him, and we never really rotated that out to a great success. Barnes, Madders, and Tielemans is not replacing 5 or 6. That's what Wolves have done. Wolves haven't built a team around Cunha. They've played to Cunha's strengths, which is what you've got to do. If you're going to make your strike, you know, him your outlet player going forward, you've got to play to a guy's strengths. I think they'll miss him, but I feel the money they're going to get from him, investing it in what will no doubt be a Portuguese player, they'll just keep going, Chris. This could be Bournemouth a la this season, how well they're doing, next season for Wolves. I think they'll be right up there in and around the Bournemouth, Brighton sort of areas, because this is what their manager with a brain cell's done. Look, 6 games. I think they've won all 6. Wayne's right. Man City do find a way to just find a little bit of end of season form, probably enough to annoyingly get them Champions League football. Although Erling Haaland being forced to play Europa League football against League of Warsaw or Celtic would be hilarious. It's a tough one because I still see a Man City slip up. And Wolves are very good. He thought Wayne was a bit wild with his 2-2 draw. I'm going to sound like... I'm going to sound a little bit like an idiot, but you might go, bit risky, but I can see why. Because I'm going Man City 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2.
Wow. This is going to be a difficult one because Wolves are in the last... why is it showing the last... On the last 4 games, Wolves are top of the form table. You know who's second?
Liverpool?
Man City.
Well, that is a surprise. That really is actually a surprise.
Yes, it is. Based on home form, Man City are third, and on away form, Wolves are top. So I don't think you're mad at all, Brad. And I was considering that until you went for it.
Don't blame me if you have another week that's poorer than mine. Just saying.
If this was at Molineux, I'd probably go for Wolves win. I'm just not sure with it being away from home. I'm going to go different to both of you, actually. Because I'm going to go for a Man City win. So I'm going to go 2-1 Man City. So we've got the full sweep there. So I've got 2-2 for Wayne, 2-1 to Wolves for Brad, and 2-1 to Man City for me.
Yeah, and just remember, Chris, if the result ends up 2-1, 2-2, I went 2-2 and Wayne went 2-1. We'll just flip it around. I'll do an anti-Doug. Sorry, did I mention
I'm on your side, Wayne. I'm on your side, Wayne.
Sorry, Doug. Did I slip when you watched this back or you joined us? Sorry, Doug.
Right, okay, so the second game, which is the early kickoff on TNT, sorry, Brashamp's just gone 1-1, Man City 1, Wolves 1. So the next game is the 12:30 kickoff on the Saturday morning on TNT, as I say. Aston Villa in 7th, playing Wolverhampton Wanderers in 8th. I'm guessing, Villa are going to try and do a late splurge for Europe again. And
Did you
they.
just say Aston Villa playing Wolves?
Sorry?
That's why you just said Aston Villa Wolves.
Fulham?
You said Wolves.
Did I?
It's because you still got Wolves up on the screen, I reckon. You're not having a good day, are you? You called Wayne Chris. Now Wolves are knackered. They're playing twice, and they're going to finish against Man City. Oh, if that's the case, then Wolves are losing this game because they're not going to have the energy the time to get back.
The way they're playing, mate, the way they're playing, they could win both games.
Probably.
Sorry, Aston Villa Fulham. It is. Can I just say there's no show tomorrow night, and by the way, Wayne, there's no watch along on Saturday. I'll explain more at the end. But yeah, Aston Villa in 7th, Fulham in 8th. It was 3-1 to Villa earlier in the season. Villa, they lost to Man City. They stuffed Newcastle 4-1. They beat Southampton and they beat Forest recently. Fulham beat Southampton just, lost to Chelsea just, lost to Bournemouth, and managed to beat Liverpool, which delayed things for them a little bit. And here are their interesting facts. 54 goals for Villa, 50 for Fulham, 44 assists for Villa, 43 for Fulham, 5 goal difference for Villa, 4 for Fulham, 49 goals against for Villa, 46 for Fulham. I'll go first on this one because I'm going to go 2-2. I mean, they're that close. There isn't a piece of bog paper that you can slip between the two cheeks there, Wayne.
There isn't. Well, 7th and 8th, isn't it? I mean, there's 6 points difference. And on form, definitely Villa have won 5 of the last 6. In fact, they lost, didn't they, against Palace in the semi-final. And really, Palace, for the amount of chances they had and possession, I mean, Villa had 70% possession, 16 shots, 5 on target. They've got a great sort of keeper in Martinez, but, they lost against PSG, probably could have won that. So they are very, very close. And I think without the Champions League, they probably would have been higher up. But they've got Rodgers in midfield. He's brilliant. Unai Emery is a great manager. And with the 2 additions, Rashford and the Spanish guy, they just really got a good squad, strength in depth. And although Fulham are just 1 place behind them in the league, I think because in the league it's so close now between 4, 5 teams, from Villa up to Newcastle, the race is on and the pressure's on. So I think Villa will be going for it, and I do think they'll beat Fulham 3-1.
Oh, 3-1. Form-wise here, Villa are in 4th, Fulham are down in 9th. At home, Villa are 5th. Away, Fulham are, good God, 15th. Can I change my score prediction? Go on, Brad, what are you going for?
I mean, this has been 2 clubs that, due to different reasons, have just been consistently inconsistent. Throughout the season, Villa have seemingly suffered with Champions League football. They've done a mini Liverpool, suddenly crashing out of every cup competition they were involved in. Bit weird though, isn't it, Chris? Because the Premier League's gone from final day fight to the title. Will it be Liverpool? Will it be Man U? Will it be Arsenal? Chelsea? To who's going to potentially get 8th place and get Europa League conference? Doesn't sound as appealing, does it, for the Sky moneymakers and all that? But this is a good battle. And like Wayne said, I feel like had Villa ironically not had the football of the Champions League, which they've been fighting to keep hold of and get back in this season, they probably would have got into that position. Look, Emre's a great manager. I feel like Arsenal fans should suck a fat one of karma because they deserve it, because he's proven that maybe if he'd have been allowed to actually do his job and stick around and rebuild them, they would have won something more meaningful than the we beat Real Madrid in the quarterfinals cup. Having said that, this is at Villa Park, and they dismantled Newcastle, who were red up form themselves, Chris, but they dismantled Newcastle when they played them at Villa Park. And I've got a funny feeling this could be another dismantling job. And I'm going Aston Villa to win by the exact same scoreline they did that game. Aston Villa 4, Newcastle. You got me doing that, Chris. Fulham.
Fulham what?
Fulham 1.
1, sorry. So Newcastle, they're... no, they could do it because they're actually in their next game's on the Sunday, so they could play that game on Saturday and then play on the Sunday.
They'd have time on like Wolves, mate. Are you just being too harsh on them?
No, I'm going to stick with 2-2. I went for 2-2. The thing with Fulham for me is, to me, they are the Jekyll and Hyde club of this division, because they can just as easily turn up and roll Aston Villa over as turn up and get stuffed by Aston Villa. So I'm gonna stick with the 2-2 for my weird reason. Don't ask me why, but I went for it. Oh look, Craig! I like the cut of that man's jib. He's gone 2-2 as well. You see, people know. Aston Villa 2, Fulham 1, says Prashant. Right, here we go. Remembering to click the picture over again. We are watching, or going to be talking, Everton against Ipswich. Everton, who have got, I think they've got the real Harry Potter in charge, because he's woven some great magic since he took over, David Moyes. See what I'm doing here, guys? And Everton are sat in 15th with 38 points. Ipswich, relegated last weekend, along with Leicester and Southampton, in 18th on 21. Earlier in the season, it was 2-0 to Everton. Everton have lost their last 2 games to Chelsea and Man City, but they have beat Forest and they drew with Arsenal. Ipswich lost to Newcastle, lost to Arsenal, but drew with Chelsea 2-2. If you look at the... I do like these new stats, actually. 34 goals Everton have scored, though. Ipswich have got 33. But Ipswich are on minus 41. But if you look, they've conceded 74, where Everton are only on minus 7. Ndai is their top goal scorer, but he's only got 7. I mean, you would imagine Everton were going to win this, Wayne. But are they? I mean, is it going to be that sort of, I mean, they're not going to get relegated. Ipswich are relegated. We're going to have 3 or 4 boring games towards the end of the season. Knowing, though, that, of course, with Everton, at the end of the season, they're leaving Goodison Park.
Yeah, definitely. This could be last on match of the day for certain. Or a high possibility.
Oh, no. I think the next game will be last on match of the day.
It's a goal fest, Chris. It's a goal fest coming up. Yeah, Everton, I mean, he started off very well, and yeah, he has made a more attacking, the stats say. But you look at the last 6 games, lost, won, drawn, lost, drawn. And you look at the last sort of games, they lost 1-0 against Chelsea, and Moyes has never won at Stamford Bridge. And Pickford made 6 brilliant saves, actually. He had a really good game. I think, actually, without Pickford, they probably, if the 3 teams weren't so shit in the bottom 3, they would definitely be in a relegation battle, even with Moyes. Because, I mean, Chelsea beat them 1-0. They lost 2-0 against Man City. They beat Forest 1-0. They drew with Arsenal 1 each. They lost against Liverpool. They just can't score any goals. As you said, Chris, Ndai is the top scorer on 7 goals. So It's not an exciting time to be an Everton supporter. And I do think Ipswich will give them a game, but it might be a 1-1.
1-1.
1-1.
Your second draw of the 3 so far. Bradders.
Yeah, I get where Wayne's coming from. Their form has been particularly great, but,
74 goals conceded for Ipswich. I mean, look, everybody's Luton this year, aren't they?
They are, but somehow miraculously worse than Luton. And you felt like they put in more efforts in games where Luton gave up the ghost. In some of their games, they were criticised of it by their own fans, whereas Ipswich haven't. However, there's only so much weight you can put on a donkey before it gives you a buckaroo treatment or its knees buckle and it collapses. And unfortunately, I think
you make these up. I'm sure you make these up.
I make them up as I go along, mate. I'm just a delight to have around. You know I am. But no, in all honesty, I feel like whilst Ipswich have tried to kick back and fight to stay in the Premier League, it's just got to that point where they've got nothing left.
Yeah.
Personally, I hope they stick with McKenna. I think he's the sort of manager that they'll want, the players like, and the fans really like having around. I know there's been a few discrepancies at times with some Ipswich fans on his style of play or way he's gone about it, but I just feel like the donkey's knees are collapsed. It's gave up. It's in the veterinaries. It needs to wait until next season to bounce back again, and they'll have a good season next season. I know we'll probably do a prediction showing where they're going to finish next season and whatnot. But for this case, Chris, unfortunately, I only see one result, and that's Everton 2, Ipswich 0.
Yes, I mean...
And now Chris is changing his prediction.
No, I haven't written anything down yet. The thing with Ipswich is, when you look at the 3 teams that came up, really, you should be saying Ipswich should be the ones that should be rock bottom and struggling. They were in a financial position that they could go out and spend, but you'd got Southampton and you'd got Leicester, who had only just gone down the season before, so we should have known what to expect in the Premier League, and we should have been more ready for it. But fair play to Ipswich. If you remember last season, Ipswich always managed to, if they were losing, get a draw, or if they were drawing, get a win in the last sort of 5 minutes or injury time. And they haven't been able to do that this season. Be interesting to see if they go down, whether McKenna stays or whether McKenna is going to be poached by a bigger club, i.e. Tottenham, and whether he will go or not. Because obviously he proved himself loyal this year by signing a new contract, but whether he goes straight back down if he's offered a Premier League job, who knows? I am going to go Everton 3, Ipswich 1. No, I'm not. I'm going to go... Oh, God, if this is 3-1 now, I'll be fucking killing myself. I'll leave it at 3-1. I was going to change to 2-1, but I'm going to go with 3-1 on that. Craig has gone Ipswich 1-0, and Prashant's gone 2-1 to Ipswich. To Everton, sorry. So nobody's holding out much hope for Ipswich, bless their little cotton socks. Right, next up, well, this is going to be a 7-6 goal thriller, isn't it? Let's be honest with you. We have got probably the worst team in Leicester's history against possibly the worst team in Southampton's history. Should Southampton win this, I think they are only then 4 points behind us. How many points behind us are they at the moment? They are 7 points behind us. Yeah, so if they win this, that'd be 3. It'd be 4 points with 3 games to go. And we're playing Ipswich. They could literally catch us. Look, Leicester 19th, Southampton 20th. Last time it was 3-2 to Leicester, but they bossed us in that first half. Look, we haven't won in God knows how long, but we did get a draw with Brighton. in what we call the Midland Red Derby, because it was buses, wasn't it, Wayne? And Southampton got a draw with West Ham, but apart from that, they have been losing as well. I mean, this is almost, let's be honest with you, embarrassing, isn't it? I mean, our top scorer, Jamie Vardy, with 7. Their top scorer, Ononchu, with 4. I'm sorry, Southampton fans. I shouldn't laugh, but you're making us look good. 27 goals.
That's atrocious, isn't it? Your top scorer has 4 goals.
Yeah. I mean, we think we're bad with 7 with Vardy. We got 27. They've got 25. That's how many goals scored. 49 difference minus 55 for them. 76 goals we've conceded. 80 they have conceded. Go on. Which way do you see this going, Wayne?
Well, it could point to the fact that there'll be goals in the game if we let so many goals in, both the teams. It's really difficult, isn't it? You know, I mean, Vardy missed a penalty, which he'd normally bag those. So you're thinking if your talisman is missing a penalty, and he did neither, did he? He neither did his trademark smack it as hard as he can, even if it's an inch away from the keeper, he's not getting to it, or didn't place it in the corner. Just really difficult. Ruud van Nistelrooy, he's got a very defeatist attitude, and his language is defeatist. Sometimes you just pluck in at stock sayings to just get through the post-match interviews. And is the rumour that Ricky P's injured as well? Which, if he is, then that's catastrophic.
8 players out apparently. Like I said earlier, 8 players are injured.
Pissing beach, more like.
Sorry, again, Brad.
I said out on the pissing beach, more like.
Well, who can blame them, really?
But I mean, I'm going to say I was going to go for Desmond, but I'm going to say 1-1.
1-1. Brad, what can you say about Southampton?
Not a lot, really. I mean, at least, you know, they had a manager who had crapped himself and gave up on the ghost of the Premier League way back when Fatawu ripped him to shreds 5-0, and they stuck with him long enough, which was bizarre in its own right. And if we get him, I'm done with football, because he's he's up there as a clown already. Then they got a manager in, which reminded me of Remy Gard when he took over Aston Villa.
Oh yeah, good God.
Oh, yeah. And now they've done this thing where they've gone, maybe we just give the assistant a go and see how he runs with it. And he's done what most managers in that, assistant managers do in that criteria. And he's gone, I'll just let the lads play with a bit of freedom, play attacking football, because it ain't like we're going to stay up, because we can't. And then let them enjoy themselves a bit. Ruud did that for one game, didn't he, against Brighton, and then went back to his old world. I've just seen a harrowing comment in there, which I hasten to say I kind of agree with. Southampton potentially winning this game, because you can see it, because we have a donut in charge, and we should really be giving it Andy King for the last 4 games and not Ruud van Nistelrooy. I'm tempted to say 1-0 Southampton, Chris. I really am. I can really see it. You know what? I can see it, Chris. I can see it, Chris. I'm going 1-0 Southampton.
Ooh.
I can just see it, because they were unlucky against Fulham, but thanks Fulham for that 3 points. But this, I can genuinely see it. Why should I have any faith in that team after the Wolves' performance?
No. I haven't said a word. I just had a short take of breath. Unfortunately, Brad, I can't argue with you. I really cannot argue with that. We were lucky, in that first game. I can see us losing. Let me ask you both here, guys, because I said about that Spurs fan earlier, wanting Ange not to win the Europa League so that they sack him. Would you take losing this game if Ruud van Nistelrooy was sacked? Because to be honest with you, I would, because we're down anyway. So what's it matter? Wayne, would you?
Yes, because I think that will be to lose against Southampton. That is a massive statement. And yeah, you're right. To think that we could be caught by Southampton is another thing. And sometimes it's like the delusions of grandeur with winning the title last year and coming up. A lot of players actually believe they were better than they really are. And this season has definitely yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, it's just highlighted it. And I think to lose against Southampton, sometimes you need a right good slap in the face to sort of get you to try and wake up a bit. So, yeah, I think he could go.
Would you take the loss? Well, you've predicted a loss. I presume you'd be happy with that if Ruud van Nistelrooy went.
I'd never be happy with Leicester losing.
No.
But if you said to me right now, if you win this game, Ruud van Nistelrooy is going to stay, and if you lose this game, Ruud van Nistelrooy is going to be sacked, I'm going down to the training ground myself with a sledgehammer and trying to injure more players just to make sure. Just to make sure. Because I don't understand it. I can't fathom how the board have gone, yeah, let's stick with him. Because it could only be financial. Because if their genuine aspirations are to keep him in the Championship, thinking this absolute clown is going to do any better in that division, God help us. God help us.
Have either of you ever watched the film Misery?
No, but I feel like I should.
It's gruesome, isn't it?
It is.
No.
You know the ankle breaking bit with the hammer, Wayne. That's going to be Brad, isn't it? Down at the. I was tempted with 2-2. You know, like you said, Wayne. But I've just got this horrible feeling. Do you know what I'm going to do? This really does hurt me to do this, but I am going to agree with Brad, and I'm going to go Leicester City 1, Southampton 2.
I'm shocked, Chris. Not that you've copied me, but the fact you think we're going to score a goal.
Well, just to, just to give our fans some false hope.
Yeah, no, I look, it'll be a Southampton own goal.
Yes. Well, either that, or they're going to sort of dust Edouard off and put him on the pitch and bring him on in the 95th minute for a corner, and he'll score a goal. Right, let's have a look what people are saying. Craig has gone 5-3 to Leicester. Is that? What the hell, Craig? Or is that 5 to? You've gone 5-3, so I'm presuming you got Leicester first. 5-3. Pat has gone 2-0 to Southampton. Feel bad for saying, but Southampton are likely to bring a fight. 100%. Jessie, hello. How are you doing? Welcome along. And she's agreed with you, Brad. No surprise there. She has gone 1-0 to Southampton. Slicker. Right, here we go. The next game. And this is the late kickoff. And like you say, if you're just wondering, are there only 2 games at 3 o'clock on Saturday? Yes, there are. A good job we don't have 3 o'clock matches televised, like I said earlier. Arsenal are hosting Bournemouth at on the late kickoff on the Saturday. 67 points in second. Arsenal can't win it now. Bournemouth in 10th on 50 points. They were hoping to get into Europe. They then went on a bit of a bad run. 2-0 to Bournemouth earlier in the season, this one. Arsenal could only draw with Palace last week. They did put 4 past Ipswich. Could only draw with Brentford and could only draw with Everton. Pretty much sums up their season, I think. Bournemouth drew with Man United. Drew with Palace. Beat Fulham 1-0 and drew with West Ham. A draw written all over this then, Wayne?
No, I think Arsenal are going to win this. The only thing is they've got the second leg of the game against PSG, haven't they? On what is it, Wednesday or Thursday? I think. So yeah, that is just who they pick in this game, because you've got to go for the Champions League, haven't you? You've got, you know.
Well, they can't get the They can't get the Premier League now, can they?
No. There's only one goal in it. I know it is away at PSG, but the game, a good game. You know, quite even chances. And on the day, Arsenal can beat anybody. I do think they can beat PSG, but it will be a tough gig in Paris. But it's just what side he picks. I mean, they have got a lot of injuries back, Odegaard, Saka. But I think he's being careful with Saka at the minute. But yeah, I think they will be concentrating on the semi-final. So I would say that this is going to be because Bournemouth have gone off the boil. Arsenal 2, Bournemouth 1.
2-1. As you can see there, 63 goals for Arsenal, 53 for Bournemouth, 34 goal difference to 12 for Bournemouth, 29 conceded to Bournemouth's 41. Interestingly, Arsenal's top goal scorer has only got 9. Interesting. And, you know, we complained about Vardy with 7. Kluivert for Bournemouth has got 12. Yeah, Champions League's going to be at the back of their mind, isn't it, Brad? Do you think Bournemouth can take advantage?
They certainly can, Chris. You know, again, in that mix of conversation of clubs that have been consistently inconsistent, it shows, you know, when you go down to brass tacks, is just how difficult it is to be super consistent for them Champions League spots. I know it can go down to 5th this season, and I still think it's a farce that we get 4 entries into the Champions League. But hey ho, I mean, rename the flipping competition for what it's worth.
Yeah.
But my point is, they had red hot form, then they went right off the boil, then they kind of go in between, don't they? They win 2, lose 2 sort of thing. So it's been a bit. That's why it's so close between 10th and I think it's up to 6th or maybe even 5th at this point, where anyone could still sneak in there depending on who they're playing. So they have every chance, Chris, because Arsenal are crestfallen. You know, Liverpool did give them ample opportunities throughout the season, and they never ever took advantage to narrow that gap down, put the pressure on them. You know, they couldn't even do a Spurs and put the pressure on, could they? You know, at least Spurs managed that, although they did finish 3rd in a 2-horse race. Sorry, Spurs fans don't want to remind me of that. And they have got all their eggs and both their eyes on their semi-final, because we beat PSG.
They've got all their eggs on the semi-final and all their eyes in one basket, have they?
Exactly, Chris. They've got it all backwards and all arse over it. But no, this could be a game that easily slip up. However, I do think they will just about squeak it and get it done with 2 late goals. And I'm going Arsenal 3, Bournemouth 1. And I've just ruined Chris's prediction.
I'm going to go. This is going to be a very, very, very tight game. I'm going to go Arsenal 0, Bournemouth 1.
Ooh.
I just think Arsenal's minds will be elsewhere. Look, it doesn't matter if they lose the rest of the games, the last 3 games, 4 games, whatever it is, they'll still get Champions League football next season. They can't win the Premier League. They're not in the FA Cup. So, like you say, Brad, eggs in one basket, totally. And I think Bournemouth will take advantage. I think Bournemouth will do what they've done to a lot of teams this season and surprise them. Right. Then we come on to the Sunday, and it is Brentford against Man United. 2-1 to Man United earlier in the season. Brentford 11th, Man United 14th. Yeah, I will just repeat that. Not 4th, they are 14th. I wonder what Solskjaer's doing these days. Brentford beat Brighton last week. They drew with Arsenal. They drew with Chelsea. They lost to Newcastle. United drew with Bournemouth. Lost to Wolves. Lost to Newcastle. and drew with Manchester City 0-0. Not the best of seasons for Man United, I think we can all agree. 56 goals they've scored, 39 Brentford, 39 Man United. Man United with a minus goal difference. Goals conceded pretty much the same. Their top scorer, I can never say this name, Mbembo.
Umbuemo.
I was nearly going to burst into song then. A wimbo, whatever it is. 18 goals. That's not bad, is it? That's for Brentford, of course. Man United top goal scorer, 8. Fernandes.
Do you know what would have been funnier, Chris, if you just said 8 and it was Rashford?
Yes, indeed. I can only see this going one way. Your way, Brain.
Yeah, I think, Man United, that's Brad's team, but what a season. There's a few down there, isn't there? Spurs. And Brentford, yeah, they had a great start, went off the boil, was superb at home, then amazingly was superb away. But as you said, Chris, Mbeumo, 18 goals, so he's 4th in the top scoring list. And 5th is Wissa, who plays on the wing, and he's got 34 goals between them.
They're not Afghanistani by any chance, are they, Wayne?
Sorry?
They're not Afghanistani by any chance, are they?
Hey, no, I don't know about that, Chris. But my God, to have a striker get you 16 goals a season, but to have 2 players in your team with 18 and 16 goals is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
And if one of those gets, they managed to keep them every season as well, so they must love playing for Thomas Frank. And the interesting thing with Brentford, Bournemouth, Brighton, Fulham is that the rumours that there could be 7 or 8 teams getting into Europe from the Premier League, because we've got the least bookings, so that's another place. I think that's like 5 places for the Champions League. So with different permutations, it could depend on how Spurs get on with the Cup and different things. So these teams have still got something to play for, actually.
Yeah.
So I do think Brentford will win against a poor Man United side, and I'm going to go for a 3-1 to Brentford.
Oof. Okay. In fact, let's be honest with you, the division's over. We know who's going down. We know the champions are. The battle for Europe is all that's left, Brad.
Yeah, and like I said, it's weird how times have changed, haven't it? We've gone from match of the day talking about Liverpool, Arsenal, Newcastle, who would have loved it if they'd have got a result elsewhere. Talking about final day Premier League stipulations, and now we're discussing who might get into the Europa League conference. Yeah, so it's a fall of grace of football, isn't it? Really. And not that I'm, discouraging the competitions. What I mean is the quality of some of these teams are now talking about playing in competitions they wouldn't have dared to have mentioned 10, 15 years ago. But, yeah, Man U are just shite, aren't they? Just, like, proper shite. Not your normal. They're like extreme expert levels of shite. And if you could have just removed Ipswich, Leicester, and Southampton from this division, or just gone to us. You're going to be shit, too shit. This could get interesting. We could actually have a proper basement battle. You'd be having one this season with Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur, Chris. You'd be having a football fan's dream in terms of, please let one of these big clubs get relegated because it's fucking annoying. Annoyingly as well, Tottenham have just gone 1-0 up against Bodo Glimt. Well, Celtic fans will be fuming because they can actually score past them. But they're just awful, Chris. And whilst Manchester United won't go down this season, obviously, and they'll probably bounce back to some degree next season, they are up shit creek without a paddle. At least I feel what Leicester is fixable. Manchester United are probably going to be looking at this for the next 20 years. And for that reason, Chris, I think there's goals galore coming out of this one. 4-0 to Brentford. I mean, you just told me their star player has 9 goals, and that's their highest goal scorer. Jamie Vardy is 38 and been past it for about 2 years, and he has 7, Chris.
Oh, yeah, 8 goals for Fernandes. I wonder how many of those are from free kicks and penalties. I agree. I'm going to make it a full house. Brentford are going to win this. I mean, you've both gone for 4 goals in this game. I'm not. I'm tempted to go for a 5-1. I really am. On the form side of things, where are Brentford? They're actually down in 11th. Man United are down in 16th. In home form, home and away. Brentford, 13th. Away form, Man United, 10th, actually. But I'm going to go 2-1 Brentford. As indeed as Craig, he's gone 2-1 Brentford as well. Fine man, that. Fine man. Right, next game. Let's have a look at this one then, shall we, everybody? And the next game is Brighton against Newcastle. Brighton, who are currently sat in 9th with 51 points. Newcastle are sat in 3rd with 62. Brighton there, well, earlier in the season it was 1-0 to Brighton, but Newcastle is a different Newcastle now. Brighton beat West Ham 3-2. They lost 4-2 to Brentford. Of course, they could only draw with us, which was probably not a best result for them. And they lost in the derby 2-1 to Palace. Whereas Newcastle, were on an amazing run, but they beat Ipswich 3-0, but they got beaten by Villa 4-1. They put 5 past Palace. They put 4 past Man United. And, of course, who can forget that they put 3 past us as well. And when we look at the stats here, Brighton's biggest goal scorer with 10 goals is Pedro. Isaac, obviously, for Newcastle with 22. 56 goals for Brighton, 65 for Newcastle. Difference for Brighton of 1, difference for Newcastle of 21. And 55 against 44 goals conceded. I fear for Brighton on this one, Wayne.
You're on mute, Wayne. There you go.
Folks. I don't know why you'd say that, Chris. Anyone would think that Newcastle are a dominant, powerful, athletic, great footballing side.
Some would.
Yeah, to be honest, I mean, Brighton only just beat West Ham 3-2.
It was a legendary game. I love them for it.
Yeah, but I mean, West Ham are quite average. I mean, one thing I will say is Belieber's goal celebration for when he scored the 3rd goal for Brighton. Cartwheel flip and then a back flip. What a great celebration. But although they've got a chance, an outside chance, the form has been quite poor. João Pedro, he's got 10 goals, but he's just not firing properly. They're not very good, Brighton, to be honest. The form is not that good. And I really don't think they've got a cat in hell's chance of beating Newcastle. And I think they'd be lucky to get 1 goal. So I'm going to say 4-1 to Newcastle.
Oh, not a bad shout, sir. Brad, I mean, Brighton's main force is Pedro, who is their top assist and top goal scorer. But look, I mean, when your top scorer's got 22 in Isaac, Harvey Barnes has got 9 of those. I mean, Isaac's even got 6 assists. I mean, they're a force to be reckoned with. I mean, the job that Eddie Howe's done there, when everybody was writing him off really earlier in the season, he's turned it round. And I think, is he out of hospital now? Is he back at the club? I'm not sure. Yeah.
He's out of hospital,
Yeah.
which is great news, obviously,
Yes.
for anybody who goes to hospital during that. It's always great to, great news when they come back, especially someone as likable as Eddie Howe.
Yeah.
Again, not that you shouldn't be liking someone coming out of hospital, but
Well, maybe if you were booed, we wouldn't be.
well, yeah, maybe. But yeah, look, this is a game that's got one result written all over it, and that is a win for Newcastle. I feel like the inconsistency of Brighton over the last 7 weeks has just derailed their season. I mean, the fans have been calling for their manager's head. I'd imagine getting one over Graham Potter has earned him a stay of execution with the fans. That is hilarious because all it's doing is proving even more and more that had we hired him, we'd be no better off.
Well, West Ham fans want him out, but we'll come on to him next.
Yeah. But yeah, I just see this being very one-sided. Brighton love red cards all of a sudden, so I think they've got a few suspensions going around. So if this could get even more interesting. Wild prediction, I'm going for another red card in this game, and I'm going 3-0 Newcastle. I think this will be a routing.
Well, I'm going to agree with both of you in the fact that Newcastle will win this and win this quite easily. Since they won the cup, they've just been on an amazing ride. I think there will be the same number of goals as Wayne chose, but I think only one side will be scoring them. And I have gone Brighton 0, Newcastle 5.
Ooh.
If it's good enough for Wayne, it's good enough for me. 5-0 Newcastle. Isaac to get a hat-trick, Barnes to get the other two. There you go. When that happens, I want an extra point. And Craig's gone 2-0 to Newcastle as well. Right, here we go then. Next up, it is West Ham against the Football Bowl. Now, let's have a look at this one. Have I got West Ham up there? Yes, I have, haven't I think?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Dorco, we get what you're saying about the top 17, mate. Yeah, maybe time to move on. Right, so West Ham in 17th. The great Graham Potter. Hey, we got Graham Potter. They were better under Loppy Doppy Floppy Goo, wasn't they? They actually were at one point, I think, in the top half, or certainly mid-table. And Spurs, Ange, coming out saying you always win something in your second season. West Ham fans, absolutely, they've turned on Potter. Spurs fans, well, I read that one earlier, didn't I, where the Spurs fan actually wanted his team to lose the Europa Cup and sack him. But West Ham lost against Brighton 3-2. They drew with Southampton. They lost only 2-1 to Liverpool. They drew with Bournemouth 2-2. Whereas Spurs, they lost 5-1. Wow. Who would have predicted that, Wayne? 5-1 to Liverpool. Well done, mate. They lost 2-1 to Forest. They lost 4-2 to Wolves. They managed to beat Southampton 3-1. They lost to Tottenham. How, the question, with the history that they've got there, how is Ange still in a job is what I want to know. Look, there you can see it there. 39 goals for West Ham, but 62 for Tottenham. Hasn't done them much good, though. Minus 19 to 6 goal difference. 58 conceded for West Ham, 56 for Tottenham Hotspur. Bowen, their highest goal scorer, only on 9. Tottenham Hotspur, highest goal scorer, Brendan Johnson on 11. Maddison, who is having such a torrid time at the moment, on 9. Solanke on 8. 0-0 this one, Wayne?
Well, it's an exciting 16th v 17th in the Premiership, isn't it? Yeah, West, as you say, Potter is the form is like lost, drawn. And really, as you mentioned, Bowen's the top scorer. I think without Bowen, they probably would have been on 20 odd points and maybe have given us hope to catch them actually, rather than being like dejected and thinking haven't got a hope in hell's chance of getting out the bottom three. But apart from Bowen, I think if he moved on, they would really be in trouble. I mean, when they lost against Brighton, the only thing is that Souček scored and Kudus did score, and Bowen got 2 assists actually. Those got 9 goals. He's got a good amount of assists as well, Bowen. So Souček hasn't scored for a long time, and just the usual suspects are just not playing that well, and they are, unless they have a big refresh, and there could just be a team that spend a lot of money in the summer and just basically end up being in the same place they are now, because Potter, is he that good a manager? As you said before, Chris, he was out of management for a long time.
Yeah.
And was that too long, basically? Was he being too picky?
Looking like it. And I think with West Ham, Wayne, look, when Ruud took over at Leicester, there's a very strong argument to say that he took over an awful side.
Yeah.
When Potter took over West Ham, they weren't that. They were better than they are now.
Yeah, the far worse since he took over. You look at, he took over West Ham, and Vitor Pereira took over Wolves. Completely, and sliding doors, aren't there? You know, so, and that's the difference of a manager. And that.
How did it go, Wayne?
Sorry.
How did it go?
It was almost like thinking, does it sound like the was the door on the Starship Enterprise?
I'm going to say the Star Trek door. Yes, indeed.
No, but it just shows you that you get a manager that, I mean, Potter, he says all the right things, he talks the talk, and in that regard, he does remind me of a certain manager that you absolutely love, Chris.
Who would that be, Mr. Wayne?
It might be Dutch, I'm not sure. There's a rumour he might be Dutch.
Have you read that book yet?
No, I looked at it the other day. It's on the dining table. I looked at it the other day and I thought, no.
Nah. Right, so what are you going to go for?
I'm going to go for a 2-2.
Oh, a Desmond. Rad. I think we can officially say that Wayne has got more Desmonds than I have now for the season.
It would definitely seem that way. He's going Desmond crazy, isn't he? I mean, maybe he's under Desmond Delulu. How many times can I say Desmond, do you reckon?
As many as you want.
I can say the word Desmond in that sentence. Shall I try another Desmond? Yeah, there's one more for you. Now, this game's going to be absolutely diabolical. You know, Tottenham have already read in the excuse that they played on a Thursday. West Ham were already read in the excuse that Potter's shit. Honestly, this game's got ball draw written all over it, Chris. And I've got nothing really to say about the two teams because they've been so bad that, like Wayne said, in another season, they wouldn't be going, oh, thank God we can at least say we're safe. On any other season, pretty much, I think, barring this one, they'd still be in a relegation fight. They've been absolutely terrible. And I'm just not going to talk about them anymore, Chris. 0-0.
Well, do you know what, Brad? I had written mine down. I had written my score down there for this before Wayne came out with his.
Had you gone 1-1?
That would be nice, wouldn't it? That would be a full set.
It would.
But I have gone, because I think I'm not gone for many away wins. In fact, I've only gone for 1 or 2 away wins so far. I have gone West Ham United 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0.
Oh,
I know.
Alert the press. Chris has agreed with me. Get your one on the bingo cards. Get that written in.
There you go. Talking about match bingo as well. probably not now this week, but from next week we're going to give it a trial for the last 4. I think it's 4 games we've got left after this, or 3.
3 after this.
3 after this. We are going to take a sponsorship from Match Bingo. There's the name of the company. For the we don't do the previews, but for the watch-alongs, and they will be sponsoring the watch-along shows, and they will have you pay to. It's a betting, obviously, and we don't recommend betting, but it's a bit of a bingo. You got a bingo card. Corner to Leicester ticket. 2 players sent off, you can tick it. So it's like a bingo card. So that's something to look forward to. Was going to be this week, but actually I'm not doing the game on Saturday at the moment. Right, next up, Le Champions are visiting Hilton United, because of the amount of hotels that they managed to find that they can sell. Chelsea are in 5th somehow, with 60 points. Liverpool on 82. Chelsea beat Everton last time out. They beat Fulham. They could only draw with Ipswich and also with Brentford. They did manage to beat Tottenham. Liverpool, like we said earlier, 5-1 against Tottenham. Well done, Wayne. Beat us 1-0. Liverpool 2, West Ham 1. They lost to Fulham 3-2. And they beat Everton in the last ever derby before Everton moved stadiums. And when you look at the stats in a bit more detail, 59 goals for Chelsea, 80 for Liverpool. 19 for Chelsea, 48 for Liverpool is the goal difference. 45-60 assists, 40-32 games conceded. Top goal scorer for Chelsea, Wayne? Cole Palmer, of course, with 14 goals, followed by Jackson with 10 and Madueke with 7. Are Liverpool going to ease off the gas now that they've won, do you think?
Probably. It depends on injuries, if anybody's nursing any injuries. Probably not, though. I think they maybe want to make a statement. What's interesting with Chelsea, though, is they have got the semi-final of the second leg of the semi-final, the Conference League semi-final. So that is, he's got to be going for that. He's got to be going for that, which is on Thursday night against Djurgården. Chelsea winning 1-0 after the away leg. So I think he's going to concentrate on that. Interestingly, though, Cole Palmer, I don't think he scored for 10 matches or something.
And he's still the top goal scorer.
Yeah, I know. Well, he got an hat-trick in one match, didn't he? Or did he get 4 goals in one match? A couple in another. It was blistering. And I'm not going to mention a certain thing that I'm involved with anyway. But
go on. I've got it ready to drop. I've got it ready to drop.
A fancy football team, but since it's not in there, because it's crazy, really, how somebody can. Everybody has an off bit. The striker doesn't score 5 or 6 goals, but he literally cannot score. And I think Maresca said it might be down to confidence, or it may be in his head. But whether he's been overcoached or not, I don't know. But when you look at the form of Chelsea, really, I mean, they only beat Everton 1-0. Just game. They just beat Fulham 2-1. They went through against Legia Warsaw, but quite average. They drew against Ipswich. They drew against Brentford, and they just beat Spurs 1-0. So I don't think, was it you did a pre-match pod with the Chelsea fan? He says a lot of the fans are not really happy with Maresca's style of football.
Hate it, yeah.
Yeah, Chelsea normally are one of the sides that do play attacking football. But probably not under Maresca. So there are rumours about whether he'll stop. But I do think Liverpool will be too strong for them. Irrespective of whether they're playing in the semi-final of this cup, I just think Liverpool will be too strong. And I think it's going to be 3-1 to Liverpool.
3-1. Brad, Mo Salah, top goal scorer, I think in the league, but also for Liverpool with 28 goals. Do you think we should hire out Luke Thomas to Chelsea, see if they want to borrow him for a game and he can pop him in his pocket again?
I mean, maybe, because it'd be the only way I can see Salah not scoring, let alone Liverpool not scoring against Chelsea.
You're very faint, mate.
You what?
You were very faint then.
Was I? Is that better?
That's better, yeah.
That better. Yeah, I think it might be the only way you stop Salah from scoring is oh, sorry, my lighting's playing up. I wonder what the hell happened then. That freaked me out a bit. Is Salah having Luke Thomas on the pitch against him? Because obviously, you know, Luke Thomas is going to win the award for keeping Salah quiet for 90 minutes trophy at the end of the season. But Chelsea have just been poor, Chris. Questions about the way he's operating. Cole Palmer. Thanks, Wayne, for the FPL mention. I was desperate for you to mention that.
So just to interrupt, it's half time at Forest, and it's Nottingham Forest 0, Brentford 1. Sorry, just to interrupt there.
Yeah, so only Doug's getting points from that game at the moment because he went 2-3.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's one of them, isn't it? Really, I just don't see Liverpool stopping. You know, we all talk about them winning it when it was the COVID season. They didn't really get a chance to enjoy it. I'm sure the fans won't complain that their team won it during the COVID season. Again, preloaded excuses, playing tonight, playing against the champions, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not surprised that Chelsea would sack Enzo come the end of the season. The Delulu American owner they've got is just prone to doing it. Because I don't understand why they sacked Mauricio Pochettino. I thought he was a great fit for Chelsea and could have done great there. But look, it's just going to be another reason for Chelsea fans to boo and demand Maresca out. And I'm going Chelsea goalless, 0. Just in case, Chris, just in case. Liverpool 3.
Oh, well, Prashant's agreed with you. He's gone 3-0. Yeah, for me, this is Liverpool. I've gone Chelsea 0, Liverpool 2. And the last game of the weekend, which is Monday night. Oops. Let me just... There we go, that's it. I don't know what I was doing then. Is that Palace Nottingham Forest we've got up there, guys?
It is.
It is indeed. In that case, I can tell you that Nottingham Forest are in 6th with 60 points. Palace are in 12th with 45. Earlier in the season, it was 1-0 to Forest. Now, let's have a look at what Palace have been doing in the league. Drew with Arsenal, drew with Bournemouth, stuffed by Newcastle, stuffed by Man City, but beat Brighton in what the weirdest derby in the whole any division anywhere in the world, I think. Forest beating Tottenham, losing to Everton, losing to Villa, beating Man United, and beating Ipswich. And when you look at it there, top goal scorer for Palace, Mateta, however you want to pronounce it, 14 goals. Chris Wood, 19 for Nottingham Forest. 43 goals for Palace, 53 for Nottingham Forest. -4 goal difference, Palace, 14 for Forest. Goals against, 47-39. Crystal Palace stuck with the manager, one of the only teams that stuck with the manager towards the, when everyone was changing it was down the bottom, and they were one of the ones that was in trouble. They're obviously safe now, and maybe sticking with the manager was the right thing to do.
Yeah, Oliver Glasner's done really well. The last 6 games, they've drawn the last couple, then lost a couple, won and drawn. But they went on a really good run. And the Palace are really good at bringing young players through. They're always an athletic side. And when they played against Villa in the Cup semi-final, the match stats, Villa were 70% possession, 16 shots. Henderson had a great game. He made some really crucial saves, some fantastic saves, to be honest. Quick nod to Brad. Less than half the touches inside the box, but the keeper was just pivotal. And Eze had a brilliant game. Ismail Sarr, 2 goals and 1 assist. And Mateta, as you said, Chris, he's got a lot of goals and he's really physical. He likes to get a shot off. And on the day, I think they can get anybody a good game. And I do think this will be a 1-1. Forest 1.
Brad, Forest celebrating getting Champions League, weren't they, not so long ago? When I look at the form here of Nottingham Forest, they're actually down in 10th. Although in the Premier League overall, they're down to 6th and are in the Europa League. Wheels wagon coming off by any chance?
Well, it's ironic that you say all that, and they're currently 1-0 up against Brentford. Look, they're
losing 1-0.
I knew that. I was testing you. Well done, you passed. And they're losing 1-0 to Brentford. Yeah. I no point brushing your teeth on screen, Chris. Come on now. But no, on a serious note, they do seem to be wobbling a bit, don't they? They really do seem to be coming off at the hinges. And again, look, wherever they finish, if they get any form of European football, it's still a successful season. And again, I don't like how the media can quickly twist a good season into, they bottled it because the team that outweighed, Manchester United, Man City, all them fell from 4th to 6th or 7th or wherever they finished. I hated it when it happened to us under Brendan Rodgers. I know our run of results led to that downfall, but you know what I mean? We still finished 15 places higher than most other teams that are usually up there on a regular basis. I've always hated it. I think they're having a good season. There's a little part of me, because I'm a Leicester fan, that wants them to finish outside of Europe. But, if they get it, fair play to them, they would have earned it. Palace have been baffling me because they go and get stuffed and then they go and absolutely, bend Villa over in a cup and make it look like the easiest game of the season with the result they got. It's different for them being in the FA Cup because you can't put all your eyes on it because it's at the end of the season. It's not like they've got a game next week in the cup competition. So they'll want to go in there with some confidence. So I'm going Crystal Palace 2, Nottingham Forest 0.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that.
I know, right? I'm mischievous, aren't I?
You are. Yes. Nottingham Forest have to be looking over their shoulders now. They're in the Europa League place at the moment, or of course that could end up still being a Champions League spot. They are 3 points only ahead of Villa, but the goal difference is like nine goals. So they need something Villa special to catch up. In a lot of ways, this is the hardest one to predict. Now, if you look at the form table at the moment, I'd say Forest are in 10th, Brentford are Crystal Palace are in 17th. So if you're on the home form, Palace are 6th, and if you're on the away form, it's on the last one again, Forest are 7th. I'm going to slip a little cheeky Desmond in there, and I'm going to go 2-2.
You've got to have one Desmond in, Chris.
I know, that's my second Desmond.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I had Villa Fulham as a Desmond as well. So we've got the same number of Desmonds.
You can't beat a Desmond. Sometimes it makes perfect sense.
It does. You can't have a good Thursday without a Desmond. That's what I say. Going Guys, look, thanks very much. I just want to say I'm going to have, a weekend off this weekend. There's no show tomorrow. What's the point of doing preview shows now? Really? There's just absolutely no point. We're down. We know what's going to happen. We're going to lose. So, every week. So why do it? And I should really be doing a watch along on Saturday. But you know what? I just can't be bothered. I really cannot be bothered. So what we'll probably do is be back on Monday if Brad is free for the post-match.
Yes, I am.
And we'll do it that way. And then obviously the points as well. But guys, thank you very much. I'll post those in the chat for you, Wayne. I was going to say Brad, so you can see those. Have a good weekend. Have a nice weekend off. And I will see you all next week.
Cheers, guys. Have a great weekend.
Later. Take care.
Take care. Cheers. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks very much to Brad, and thanks very much to Wayne as well. Just what's the point? What is the point of a preview show and the watch along? Why should I give them 90 minutes of my time when they don't give us 90 minutes of theirs? I'll see you all Monday then. Click the notification bell, and then you'll know what time we're going live. Subscribe if you can, that's free. Smash that like button, that is free as well. Everything's free unless you want to pay me $1.99, and for that, you become a member and channel supporter, and that really, really, really does help the channel. Thanks, Craig, very much for your message there, and have a good weekend all. Take care. See you next week.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network.
TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.